各位领导、各位来宾、女士们、先生们，大家早上好！欢迎来到2023服贸会北京两区建设企业全球化论坛及第10届中国企业全球化论坛的开幕式现场。本论坛的第一个环节。
The first session is the speech made by the hosts, and we're very honored to invite Mr. Ding Yong to deliver the speech. Welcome, Mr. Ding. Esteemed Director Hou Junshu, Deputy Director General Mr. Yi Xiaozhen, Director Mr. Wang Huiyao, Ambassador Graham Fletcher, and Mr. Thomas Hashba, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends, good morning. On behalf of Beijing Municipal Commerce Bureau, I'd like to extend the congratulations to the successful commencement of the 10th Inbound and Outbound Forum of CIFTIS. The theme of this forum is promoting innovation and cooperation to share the fruits of facilitating servicing trade. And it is one of the important activities co-hosted by the Two Zones Office of Beijing, as well as the fourth CCG Cooperation Forum. On one hand, we can share with each other the fruits and achievements of the development of the two zones. On the other hand, we can hear the viewpoints on the facilitation of the free trade and investment environment to explore the new paradigm and the directions of opening up in Beijing. So hopefully that today at this forum we can share with each other as well as the wisdoms and experiences. Since 2020, when President Xi Jinping made the statement on CIFTIS, declaring the development of the two zones of Beijing under the leadership of the central government as well as the CPC, Central Committee, and the State Council. We have accumulated a lot of experiences with a lot of achievements, injected a lot of new impetus to the development of the capital. And during this day and several days ago, President Xi Jinping also made it very clear on the CIFTIS that we have to benchmark with international advanced norms and promote the reforms for pilot manner so as to play a bigger role for the green development. And in the future, we will honor this spirit as the guidance to push forward the opening up systematically and in terms of the mechanisms in a multi-dimensional and even wider manner, so that we can develop Beijing as a very good business environment based on law and based on market forces to spread the charisma and charms of the old city of Beijing. At the same time, we can see a lot of new technologies coming to being against the new challenges and a complex environment. We have to consolidate efforts for cooperation to withstand the waves of the development of the globalization. And this forum is around the different areas with the three concurrent forums for the sci-tech innovation, investment, rejuvenation, and green transformation, so as to find out the pathways for the entrepreneurs and different sectors and different industries, so as to contribute to the high-level development of Beijing with our contributions. At last, I wish you all with good results, and I wish all of you can hear the voice of Beijing and for the common prosperity in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Ding, for your best wishes. With that, I'd like to invite President for Central for China and Globalization, Mr. Wang Huiyao, who is also the former counselor to the China State Council. Welcome. Esteemed Vice Chairman Mr. Hou Junshu, Vice Minister Yi Xiaozhen,
Ambassador Graham Fletcher, and also Your Excellency Mr. Thomas Hashba,
Esteemed Director Mr. Ding Yong, distinguished guests. Good morning. Welcome to attend the 10th China Inbound-Outbound Forum. and the Globalization Forum for Two-Zone Development. And this is the fourth time for CCG to hold this very influential international forum, which is also the 10th China Inbound-Outbound Forum. And at this forum, we have the two hosts, a Central for China and Globalization and the Two Zone Office of Beijing, which is one of the most influential international forum during CIFTIS, played a very important role to exchange the viewpoints across the different countries between China and the outside world. Right now, it has become a very important and famous brand of CIFTIS.
Very happy to be on behalf of CCG and Two Zones Office to welcome all our friends here today. I mean, this forum has been the Inbound-Outbound Forum has been organized for the last 10 years, and also fourth year in a row that to be held at the CIFTIS for this great event. So it's very important that we get the industry representative, we got the organization, government officials, and of course we have the chambers, business, and of course academic and think tank all get together to really discuss serious subjects for the how to promote the business exchanges between China and outside world. 那么出席今天论坛。
And today we have the guests coming from the national ministers, departments, Beijing municipality, ambassadors and diplomats, international organizations, and friends from association and chambers of commerce, and scholars and experts from the enterprises. Thank you for gathering here, and especially I'd like to give my thanks to Beijing Municipal Bureau of Commerce and the Two Zone Office of Beijing for their support for this forum. Especially thanks will be given to Environmental Defense Fund for their support for this forum. CIFTIS as a integrated forum or international summit at the national level with its international features, which demonstrated the fast development trend of China's merging into the globalization. It has become the international public goods. And previously, President Xi Jinping, during the opening ceremony, also made it very clear that we have to further opening up to the outside world in trading services so as to demonstrate the determination and activities of China's opening up, expansion, and also the China Inbound-Outbound Forum has been held for 10 years since 2014, dedicated on based in China, going global, and devoted itself on the high-level development of globalization of enterprises. And during the 3 years COVID constraint, which has been over right now, we can see the booming phenomena of the exchanges of humanities and commercial activities. And this is the first year after COVID is over, and we also have visited and traveled around the world to different countries for many times, and we deeply felt that the people-to-people communication is the cornerstone of the international relations enhancement, and globalization, or CCG, right now is dedicated on expanding the communication in terms of humanities between China and outside world. And next month, we are going to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the BRI initiative commencement, and we're going to have another activity to celebrate this initiative, and we're going to touch upon how to spread the influence of BRI as a public goods to promote the common prosperity and the multilateral cooperation between different countries. And we have to share and we have to construct and develop this initiative altogether. And probably we can set up a secretariat of BRI or the International Commanding Committee for BRI. And also the summit forum can be held in the different countries in Asia, Africa, and Latin America in the rotation manner. And we can invite international organizations, including UNDP and UNESCO and WTO, to participate as the host for the China Inbound-Outbound Forum together with the CCG.
BRI can collaborate， 这个可以合作加强基础设施的建设，推动这个。
Yes, so that we can promote the green and climate-related infrastructure development in a multilateral manner. And last, this forum will be themed with promoting innovation and cooperation to share the fruits for facilitating trading services And we will have 3 roundtable forums together with 1 high-end dialogue. We have invited more than 10 representatives of Chamber of Commerce, both at home and abroad. And so this is very influential activities during CIFTIS, also UK. We would invite the Australian ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Graham Fletcher, will make the presence here and make a speech. So we had very high expectation on how to promote the two-zone development. And then we will invite Director Liu Meiying to specifically describe the content of the policies of two-zone development. Ms. Liu, during this 2 years, have given us a tremendous support for the cross-border activities with a lot of advices, which are very positive and also acknowledged by friends from different corners of life. I have heard a lot of feedback, which are all very positive, and the support from them are very helpful. Great contributions to the inbound and outbound activities. And also we would have 3 roundtable activities to talk about the policies of investment and the sci-tech empowerment and the trend of the eco-environment for the opening up and innovation, as well as the dual carbon policies and the green transit of the enterprises. CCG for many years has been devoted on the inbound-outbound development of the Chinese enterprises in the world. So this forum will also specifically launch a new book of the strategies for Chinese enterprises going global. And today we have a splendid cast of the leaders. So we have the ambassador from Ambassador, and we have the former Vice Minister of Commerce, Mr. Yi Xiaozhen, and also have the OECD representative and leaders. So we would have a feast of ideas today to enjoy. We right now are going out of the midst of the COVID, and together here we are. We'll have the friends from commerce, we have friends from businesses and from media and from think tanks and so on. So hopefully that this forum can be helpful for the national development and the communications between the different stakeholders with your viewpoints. At last, again, I'd like to thank the presence of all of you here. I believe this forum today will meet your expectation, and we will hear a lot of ideas from the multinationals and international organizations and media friends, our friends and our directors of CCG as well. Thank you. Thank you, President Wang Huiyao, for your expectations and viewpoints, as well as the outline for today's forum. Now we will come to the session of keynote speech. I'd like to invite the moderator for this session, Maple Liao. Dr. Maple, welcome. Esteemed leaders and guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the CIFTIS and the 10th China Inbound-Outbound Forum. 欢迎大家出席北京两区建设。
Welcome to attend the 10th China Inbound-Outbound Forum and the Forum of the Globalization of Enterprises and Construction of the Two Zones in Beijing. First of all, I'd like to invite the first speaker, Vice Chairman Hou Junshu of the Standing Committee of Beijing Municipal People's Congress, and this is also very honor for us to have him to present the speech here.
Ambassador Fletcher, Mr. Haiba, Mr. Wang Huiyao, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning. It gives me great pleasure to join you in this beautiful autumn season of Beijing during CIFTIS to attend the 10th China Inbound-Outbound Forum to share views about the new trends and directions of globalization of companies. So I want to congratulate you on the convocation of this forum. I want to extend my warmest welcome to all of you, and also I want to thank you for your great support for CCG. This year, President Xi Jinping, during his remarks at CIFTIS, made it very clear that we need to connect with the high international services trade standards, and that is actually the third time for President Xi Jinping to state the requirements for Beijing for the opening of services. So that demonstrates the determination of the government towards this end. We have been playing a very important role as a pilot zone to build a high-level system for the opening of services in trade in order to achieve a higher quality development. For example, we have relaxed access of market and deepened the opening. And also, on the basis of national treatment and a negative list, we have also included many other areas for the foreign investment access. For example, we have opened the access to foreign investment in audio publication, and we also support the foreign investment in establishing vocational training institutions, and that has been very warmly received by the market. And the securities companies, Deloitte, and many other foreign vocational training institutions have established their presence ever since. And now we have accumulated over $55 billion with a lot of foreign businesses established. And second, we have been working hard to improve innovation. And we are building a comprehensive platform. And we want to ensure that all factors can work in synergy in order to create a good ecosystem for the development of the enterprises. And we are also building a pilot zone for the digital and data technology. We have established the first data custodian platform. And we are also the first in China to launch the cases for data export and assessment. And we have also facilitated many other procedures, and we have successfully launched the Beijing Securities Exchange and the National Scientific Accreditation Center, which are very important financial infrastructures to support the opening of the financial services. We have also enhanced our functions for international services trade. And Jingmaoxin has become an offshore services platform in Beijing. And third, we have been working hard to build a just and transparent business environment, and we provide national treatment for foreign investment, all the way from the establishment to the protection of rights. We have been providing our dedicated services to the foreign investment, and we are also providing the one-store services to the foreign investment, and we also have the special services tailored to the foreign investment. And we are promoting the comprehensive regulation system. And we have also decreased the frequency of random inspections. And we have also established the international Commercial Affairs Tribunal so that we become a priority place for resolving the commercial disputes. We are also working hard to build a convenient and highly efficient legal environment for foreign investment. Beijing will continue to work hard to better serve the businesses by providing an internationalized and rules-based business environment to provide facilitation and support to all kinds of foreign investment. Ladies and gentlemen, Beijing has rich resources and good advantages, and the market in Beijing has a lot of opportunities. We will continue to promote the two zones, expand our opening up so that the services and the services trade sector will continue to develop, and we will better achieve mutual benefits with all organizations, including the chambers of commerce and businesses and many other sectors, so that we can work together to create a better future of win-win in Beijing. Finally, I want to thank all of you for your support and trust in Beijing, and I wish this forum a complete success. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Ho. And now I'd like to give the floor to Honorable former Vice Minister of Commerce, Mr. Yi Xiaozhun, and also former Deputy Director General of WTO. He was also one of the important negotiators when China joined the WTO. In 2011, he became the Chinese ambassador to the WTO, and in 2013, he became the Deputy Director General of the WTO. The floor is yours, Mr. Yi Xiaozhun. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very pleased to be here at the China Inbound-Outbound Forum again to explore the trends of services trade and also China's responses. In the past 50 years, the global economy has seen structural changes to the services sector. From 1970 to 2021, the services sector accounted for 67% of global GDP from 53%, and its contribution to GDP exceeded 2/3. According to ILO, the employed people in the services sector grew from 40% in 2000 to 50% in 2021. And in the advanced economies, the economies in this sector already accounted for 75% of the total employment. And also, they account for 45% of youth employment. So we can never overemphasize the importance of the services sector. The services sector is really omnipresent in the economies. So the services sector is very important for the exporting capabilities and competitiveness of all sectors. And more importantly, the services sector is necessary for companies to establish cross-border presence. So it has become a very important connector of the global value chain, and it has become very crucial for improving efficiency, competitiveness, and the living standards of the people. The global economy has seen the above-mentioned structural changes, which are significant. That means that the manufacturing process depends more on transportation, R&D, IT, professional services, maintenance, repair services, and after-sales services, etc. And the manufacturing sector in the world has become more services-oriented. And that also means that it greatly promoted the services trade. According to the calculation on the basis of value-added services, sector accounted for already 50%, but in 1980 it was only 30%. When the manufacturing sector has become more services-oriented, the global trade in services has become more digital. With the promotion of IT, the export from 2005 to 2022, it doubled. In the same period, the digitalized delivered services export increased by fourfolds, and the internet has become more popular in the world. That has also promoted education, distribution, finance, and health, and other services opportunities. In 2022, the digital delivered services exports, that is to say, the services provided through the digital network, reached $3.8 trillion, accounting for 54% of the global trade in services or global export in services. So services is really crucial for the exports. So to reduce trade barriers will help us to increase the manufacturing efficiency and also the exports of a country. According to some research, the restrictions on the services trade by 10% will lead to the reduction of export of trade in finished products. With the wider opening, China's services trade has also achieved great development. China's share in global export grew from 2.4% to 6.5%, up by over 2.5 times. Because the policy in this area is important for lowering cost and improving the services efficiency and attracting foreign investment, and also increasing the resilience of supply chain and enhancing manufacturing productivity and promoting exports. So I would like to say something about my policy observations for promoting trade in services. First, the services sector and the manufacturing sector support each other, and they are important wheels supporting China's high-quality development. They need to run together. So we need to achieve a balanced policy approach between these two things. Actually, we should not say that the manufacturing sector is the real economy. Rather, it's not that simple. Only when the manufacturing sector and the services sector can achieve balanced development can Made in China become better. Second, opening up is also the lifeline for the services sector and the services trade. Going forward, the priority should be promoting the services sector through promoting innovation. And we need to open wider in order to break the barriers
against the counter-globalization trends and to expand our circle of threats. Thirdly, the FDI recently down to the lowest point in history that also need us to pay special attention to. And the EU Chamber of Commerce statistics in the report this year shows that 2/3 of the members of the Chamber shows that if the market access can be improved, they are willing to expand their business in China. And also according to the result of the report from China U.S. Chamber of Commerce, 96% of the enterprises and businesses from U.S. is willing to maintain or even increase their investment in China. So the FDI mainly flow to tertiary industry or service sector, and as well China's business or China's industries are closely linked to the international industrial chain. So we have to turn our attention back to the original or the starting point of reform and opening up. We have to make the confidence even consolidated for the foreign enterprises so that the investment growth can be maintained in a sustainable manner. Fourthly, due to 3-year-plus COVID pandemic, the inbound travelers from outside world is decreased very dramatically. From January to June this year, the inbound travelers to Beijing is only 409,000 person. That is less than 1/3 of 2019. The same situation is in Shanghai as well. So the international students and the inbound travelers to China are not only the revenues from outside, also it is demonstrating the opening up of China and the window for other countries to know about China. So it is my suggestion that the relevant department has to join hands together to facilitate the procedures of a settlement of the payment and the procedures of the visa and so on and so forth to promote and promulgate the positive and facilitating measures and policies to turn around this very negative situation of the inbound travelers and tourism. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Yi, for your excellent remark. I'd like to invite His Excellency Graham Fletcher, Ambassador of Australia to China.
有请 Ambassador. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Mabel. It's good to be here this morning. Mr. Hou Junshu, Mr. Ding Yong, Mr. Isha Jun, Thomas, and of course Dr. Wang as well. It's appropriate that today, at the first in-person China Inbound-Outbound Forum since the pandemic, we can reflect on the importance and future of investment and trade in services. As economies bounce back from the pandemic, investment and trade are essential for economic recovery and growth. Trade in services in particular is a driver of economic growth. According to the WTO, the global value of services trade increased 15% in 2022 to $6.8 trillion. While the pandemic disrupted investment and trade in services, it also resulted in significant innovation and change in the delivery of services. Today, the global economy is more connected and integrated than at any point in history. Digital technology and innovation are helping companies access new data to inform investment decisions, driving the rapid growth of e-commerce, improving business productivity, and supporting the creation of new products and services. While this innovation brings new economic opportunities, it also brings new challenges. Investment and trade flows are also increasingly influenced by and affected by geopolitical tensions. These tensions are apparent in greater competition to secure key technologies and supply chains, concerns over dual-use technologies, and government actions to manage emerging security risks. Governments need to find a balance between protecting national interests while still encouraging productive trade and investment. It is crucial that in pursuing their security interests, countries do not unnecessarily restrict investment and trade. Overlaying all of these considerations is increased attention to the crisis of climate change. Climate change means we need to cooperate to ensure trade and investment flows support decarbonisation efforts to meet our net zero targets. Taken together, the challenges are large, but they are also shared. The scale of these challenges is a good reminder of how stable and productive international dialogue is vital as we all seek to navigate shared challenges and find solutions according to our national interests. Australia values the stable flow and growth of investment and trade. We are an open trading nation whose economic growth, like China, is powered by investment. Last year, trade made up over 40% of our GDP, and Australia was in the top 10 largest destinations for global foreign direct investment. Australia is working hard to bolster and support stable trade and investment flows. Our trade agreements and our participation and support for key international and regional economic forums is addressing trade impediments, increasing product predictability for businesses, creating quality jobs and providing consumers with more choice. More than anything, removing trade impediments and ensuring predictability for business are essential to the growth of trade and investment. That is why Australia attaches such great value on the international rules-based trading system. Australia and China both have a shared interest in supporting and sustaining this system. It is the international rules-based trading system that has underpinned the historical success of our countries and our region in attracting investment and supporting trade flows. Australia and China are both important investment and trade partners. While merchandise trade continues to be the foundation of our economic relationship, trade in services is a driver of growth. Last year, while overall trade grew 6%, services trade between Australia and China grew 10%, and China was the second largest market for Australian services exports. However, there is scope for improvement. Services trade still only makes up 4% of our total trade. Investment flows between Australia and China also face challenges. Last year, while Chinese direct investment in Australia was stable at around 45 billion Australian dollars, Australian direct investment into China fell 24% to 4 billion Australian dollars. It is clear that China is managing growing economic and international headwinds as it seeks to recover from the pandemic. It's important, as economic partners, that we consider the opportunities available to us to support our prosperity. A multifaceted approach to cooperation on investment and trade will help support a productive economic relationship as we each seek to strengthen our economies in the face of shared challenges. Decarbonisation and the green energy transition provide a positive platform for engagement. Our vision is for Australia to become a clean energy superpower. The Australian government has set a target to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by 43% below 2005 levels by 2030. This will put us on track to achieve zero emissions by 2050. But, as our Trade Minister has said, this will require huge investment. China also has set its own historic carbon peaking and neutrality targets. So it's clear we are both on a journey towards a low-carbon future. Australia sees opportunities in three areas: progress in clean power generation, together with upgrades of supporting infrastructure, low-carbon industrial processes, and new energy and green resources innovation and development with a view to investment and commercialisation. Supporting digitisation and creating global digital trade rules is another avenue for cooperation. Digital trade rules provide certainty to business, boost economic resilience, and build trust in the online environment, and importantly, promote interoperable systems across borders which facilitate trade and avoid protectionism. Working together on robust and carefully calibrated digital trade rules can unlock the full benefits of the digital economy and boost our investment and trade ties. For example, China's focus on digital education through the pandemic supported Australia's education sector to grow through the use of online education delivery. This was to the benefit of Chinese students who continued to receive a high-quality education through an accredited Australian provider. And this is one area where we continue to work together and innovate. As Australia and China continue together to stabilise our relationship, These economic issues provide a platform for us to grow our investment and services trade. Through sustained and constructive dialogue, including at forums like this, we can take advantage of the opportunities ahead of us and support the economic growth and prosperity of our two countries and the region. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fletcher，下面我们有请
Next, I'd like to invite the Senior Advisor, Mr. Thomas Hashba, and the Director of Beijing Office, OECD.
Representative to China, Mr. Thomas Hyper. Welcome.
Thank you, Mabel. Vice Chairman Ho, Vice Minister Yi, Ambassador Fletcher, dear Harry, I'm pleased to join the 10th Inbound-Outbound Forum at the China Fair for Trade in Services. And I'd like to thank the Beijing Municipal Government and also the Center for China and Globalization for inviting the OECD to this important event. Global services trade is a key driver of international commerce. Since 2014, exports of services have outpaced the development of both merchandise exports and the global gross domestic product. They now account for roughly half of global commerce in terms of added value. The rapid expansion has been fueled by technology and improved communication infrastructure, making cross-border trade of services simpler. However, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the services trade declined more than the merchandise trade, particularly due to the international travel restrictions. Foreign direct investment has also contributed significantly to global economic growth. OECD estimates for the first quarter of 2023 indicate that the global FDI flow tripled from the very low levels recorded in the fourth quarter of 2022. Nevertheless, global FDI flows remain 25% below the level recorded in the first quarter of 2022 on an annual basis. In 2022, major FDI recipients saw a decline in FDI inflows, particularly China and the United States, due in part to a decline in new investment activities. The global economy as a whole is turning a corner, but it still has a long way to go to achieve robust and sustainable growth. The OECD forecasts that global growth will reach 2.7% in 2023 and gradually increase to 2.9% in 2024, despite adverse risks. According to the OECD's economic outlook, China's growth will rebound to 5.4% in 2023 and 5.1% in 2024. Service sector activity has begun to recover and has emerged as a key development driver so far this year, particularly due to robust demand in China and the United States. A healthy global market for the exchange of services will be required to maintain this momentum. However, rising trade barriers in the services sector, especially for services that are essential to digital economy, such as computer services, may limit this demand's ability to drive global economic growth. China is a major contributor to global trade in services, accounting for 6.4% of the global total. It has achieved significant progress in liberalizing its services sector, and there are opportunities to build on this progress. The Two Zones project, implemented by the Beijing Municipal Government, is an important step in this direction. There is also a great potential for further expansion, as the country's contribution to global services trade is half of its contribution to global merchandise trade. China is also one of the largest recipients of foreign direct investments due to its market potential, high-quality investment infrastructure, and skilled labor force. However, its accumulated stock relative to GDP at around 20% compared to the OECD average of 45%, indicates that there are more opportunities for growth. Long-term cooperation between the OECD and China has contributed to the global policy dialogue on trade in services and investment. It has also provided policy support for measures such as those envisioned in the 14th Five-Year Plan, aimed at fostering an environment that is increasingly conducive to service trade liberalization and investment. We are cooperating with the Ministry of Commerce and the Development Research Center of the State Council, as well as the Beijing municipal government, to further explore the application of the OECD Services Trade Restrictiveness Index to inform discussions on services reform in China. Closing half of the gap between China's current level of restrictiveness by the index and best practice could reduce trade costs by more than 20%, thereby improving the economy's competitiveness. In addition, last year, the Beijing municipal government and the Ministry of Finance co-organized with the OECD a series of policy trainings on OECD standards, instruments, and policies that measure and support an enabling business environment. These events, which were attended by officials and experts from various government ministries and local governments, discussed the OECD's product market regulation indicator, the FDI regulatory restrictiveness index, the trade facilitation indicators, and public procurement policies. Importantly, Chinese participants have shared their experience and policy solutions intended to enhance the business environment, increase competition, and stimulate business vitality. This has informed the global policy community, but also contributed to the discussions on these crucial issues. Allow me to take this opportunity to thank the Beijing municipal government for hosting these events and providing support for the OECD-China policy exchanges. The OECD is eager to continue this mutually beneficial collaboration with the Beijing government and other relevant government departments. I would also like to take this opportunity to commend the Center for China and Globalization on providing its excellent platform for much-needed dialogue on policy exchanges. In conclusion, China's reform agenda can provide a significant boost to its services trade and, in turn, to global development. The OECD looks forward to further strengthening its long-standing partnership with China, to further support its transition from an investment-led to a consumption-driven growth model in which the services sector will play a central role. I wish all of you a fruitful and positive exchanges for today's discussion. Thank you.
女士们、先生们，下面将进入
Ladies and gentlemen, now we will come to the next part, that is the book launch. I'd like to invite Madam Mabel Miao, Secretary General of the CCG, to launch the CCG book.
Good morning, everyone.
And now I would like to announce the issuance of this new book, Strategies for Chinese Enterprises Going Global. This book has been compiled by CCG, and Springer Nature, the famous publication company, published this English version. I think you are very interested in this topic because many of you are coming from the business community and the chambers of commerce. It is one of the series of globalization. It is about the Chinese enterprises going global. This is a series. It is about Chinese companies' globalization. And we publish the latest outcomes of research in this field by providing the articles and provide the latest data about the outbound Chinese enterprises. And we made deep-going analysis into the first-hand materials. And actually, the Inbound-Outbound Forum is also one of the important database and opinions for these publications. You know, we have a profound research background. Starting from 2015, we started the compilation. So it's been 7 years or 8 years.
By the going global and joint China market, the inbound, outbound both. So it's These are the series about Chinese reports. 2023年呢，由全
In 2023, CCG President Wang Huiyao and I co-compiled the Chinese enterprises or strategies for Chinese enterprises going global was selected on the important prize lists. And you can look at this book, which was published in 2016. It is called China Goes Global. It is about how Chinese enterprises are going global and how they can adapt to the transition. And Mr. Long Yongtu wrote the preface for this book. And this new book we are launching today is actually exploring the challenges facing Chinese enterprises going global in terms of talent and financing. And it also looked at the opportunities and the future scope for further development by providing some policy recommendations. For example, Mr. Wang just now talked about the multilateralization of BRI and the secretariat work of the BRI and how they can work together with B3W, especially the EU and the US-led mechanisms to promote true global economic cooperation. In addition to interpreting the outbound Chinese companies, we also hope that the readers will know more about how to make good use of the opportunities. So we hope that this book will give you some recommendations and suggestions. So this is the general structure of the book. The theory and strategy, and we provide some case studies, for example, for the Japanese enterprises, we can get some takeaways. And we also talk about the security risks and also the trade status and prospect. And we also talk about a BRI. And in the second part and in the third part, we talk about Chinese enterprises making investment in the United States, because this is really a sensitive area. It is constantly changing and volatile. And we have been following the historical trends and policy trends. We talked about the China-US companies working together during the COVID-19. And also we talked about cooperation in infrastructure. We hope that China and the United States will cooperate more in infrastructure. And what are the risks of those companies going global? I think they are facing a lot of risks. We need to better understand the risks and the challenges facing the SMEs so that those enterprises will enjoy sustainable development when going global. Mr. Cao Dewang is a very successful entrepreneur who is going global. And this is the preface Mr. Cao writes. He has a very simple strategy or philosophy, that is to respect the law of nature and love the people. I think that is the most fundamental thing, which is universal in the world, actually. There are a lot of great remarks in the book, actually. I hope that you can read them and just enjoy reading it. Thank you very much.